Wake up, buyer payer people. It's a beautiful day. Go grab yourself another cup of joe and say hello to Jim and Michelle Rhoads on the Buy Here Pay Here Morning Show. Take it away, you two.
Goodness.
Hey,
good morning.
Good morning, friends. I'm still over here editing photos and kind of getting things together. So it's been, it was a crazy week. We just got back in last night. We're kind of rolling into the chairs this morning.
Yeah, I was thinking about, I need to touch base with people back here that always want to make sure that we got home safe. And as I was getting ready this morning, I was like, we didn't even pull our suitcases out of the car until this morning because it was a busy last week. Mm-hmm. Really, really grateful for everything. We those of you who we saw this week at the national NIADA expo and conference and our certification course we ran just prior to just like. This is
fun for me. Anytime you get to, of course, we get to see people that we've known through social media. You get to finally meet them in person, shake hands. That's always fun. Then, reconnecting with people that we've known for a long time, haven't seen in a while. That happens. There's so much of that where you bump into people in the hallway. And, I always tease my mom when they go back home to her little small town and we go through Walmart. Like, can't go through Walmart, quickly grab a few things because she knows everybody. You got to stop. And she knows somebody from work and somebody from church and this and that and this. But when I walk through the halls at the conference, it's like there's all these people that I know. And, you try to stop and talk, but you're on the way to meet somebody else. And it's like, there's never enough time.
You are your mother's son.
I suppose.
Yeah, but I am too. So, I'm not your mother's son, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's always a good thing. We many of the people that we had a chance to say hello to, it's like, oh my gosh, it's been forever. It's been a year. Yeah. And a lot happens in a year. And it was really great to catch up with colleagues and dealers and just kind of like, we've been watching the growth, the things that have been happening in everyone else's world. It's one thing I love about social media is that you can, without actually having a conversation here and there, is that you can kind of keep up with what's happening in people's worlds. And it's just fantastic. So super grateful. Great conference. Lots of people. I ran into Richard, who is he's over all of the media,
Richard
and
Green.
he was saying that it was a very successful in as far as attendance.
Yeah, you could tell. And I think, as I said, even in our classroom, when I did my presentation on Wednesday morning, I said, when you come to these things, NIADA event in particular, the conference in particular, you don't know the people that are walking through the building. If you don't recognize them, you don't know if they're buy here, pay here or retail. Yeah. And so for us, it's hard to kind of tell until I did my session on Wednesday morning and even Rhonda's session on Tuesday. By the way, Rhonda's Cavender out of Georgia did a presentation that was really great. And I missed some of the others that I wanted to see.
Maybe we should have him on the show.
And Rhonda's is one of those people that's on my list of folks that I got a chance to shake his hand finally, just quickly. He was busy at the end of his session, and I thought we'd probably see one another again. But he's really a widely respected dealer, and people were super tuned into what he had to say, and rightfully so. He had some really great tips, and so I look forward to bringing Rhonda's on the podcast and introducing him to folks, through this track.
Absolutely.
Because he just has an awful lot of experience and a lot to share. Yeah. And he talked about his kind of two careers. He did his business one way in the first half of his career. He learned some stuff, and he credits his 20 group. He said, I learned some stuff, and I pivoted, and we're a much different business now.
Yeah. We do a lot of our work is done virtually, and there's so much to be said for going to a conference and sitting next to other dealers, other vendors, whatever, hearing the things that people are working on, and also, what are the challenges, and being able to mastermind some of the different things around a lunch table or whatever. So it's super, super just if and if you're listening and you've never attended a conference, especially if you're in Buy Here, Pay Here, that there is one the NIADA is putting on specifically for Buy Here, Pay Here, which will be in Nashville.
That's going to be a dealer forum. Yeah. Nashville, November. Right. So look forward to that.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think
we'll be there.
Yeah. And definitely look forward to being part of that. I want to say in our little short video that we want to play that, Ryan Jones out of Alabama mentioned the dates for that, and we want to confirm. But I think that's something that we definitely look forward to. Let me I've got a list over here of people that we had a chance to meet. So if you guys will indulge me just a minute. So we got a chance to meet in person. Alyssa Schultz, out of DCS, right? So she was there for our certification thing, which I don't know if I've got the photo teed up for that group from our certification, but then Allison Harrison, the attorney, was also part of that.
That's one thing I love about virtual is that you can collaborate, you can work deeply with different people and never have been in the same room.
True.
And so with Allison, it was when she showed up for the certification course, that was the first time I've
been in the room with
her. And so, it was great.
And then, of course, of our V8 dealers had a chance to see Chris Pollock and Caesar. We saw Caesar Stark at the reception that evening, and then Kristen Acosta was there. I saw her in one of the sessions, but never got a chance to talk to her.
Yeah.
Dan Grosvenor passing, same thing. And then we got some new dealers coming in. It looks like we got several people that, look like they'll be signing up for V8 quickly. And we had a chance to meet John Davacci finally. John is the dealer out of Tennessee that I really enjoyed, social media stuff. We follow his business and him personally. And he's one of those people that just, always have liked and admired, and I was happy to meet him. Fahad, I forget Fahad's last name. We all know him on Facebook as Fahad S. And,
great conversation.
So,
really. And those of you who are in Buy Here, Pay Here Success, he pipes in and he's also piped in a bit with the morning show.
A lot of great insight.
A shout out to there.
Yeah. And got a chance to meet, I knew her as Elizabeth. I think everybody calls her Liz Taylor. So that's her married name. And I met her dad, Alan Lindsay. And then did I say Crystal Fish already?
Yeah,
so I did.
No. Well, you did to me. I don't know if you did on the air.
Anyway, so just all that.
And it's interesting. Just, it's the conference thing, which is in the atmosphere, because it's not just in the halls, but at the pool.
Yeah.
I made it a point to spend some time at the pool, and I met a couple of people that were just, we had some great
I went out there twice and met Buy Here, Pay Here people both times. One I already knew, and one was a new connection. So I met
Heather and Marcia. Hey.
So that's going to be Mark Gallus out of Texas. Had a chance to meet him for the first time. Just happened to bump into them at the pool and got to know him a little bit. And then Keith Hagler out of South Texas, who's an exiting dealer. And so that was fun. We talked to Keith about coming to do some mentorship on our V8 track, and I look forward to him being a part of that as well. So
absolutely.
Just, when you come to these things, there's just so much that you first of all, people are reeling sometimes because of the time change. I feel bad for those people coming out of the East Coast, because we're an hour difference.
When you're done with a cocktail hour and then you're heading to dinner, it's 8:00 Pacific. And you're just leaving for dinner.
Which is 11 p.m. for those folks coming out of the East Coast. And look, some of those folks may stay up till 2 a.m. normally. That's not our lifestyle. So it's just a bit of an adjustment.
The more I would just kind of get to talk with other dealers, it's like, by 9:30 in your own time zone, most people are like, they're tapping out, they're winding down, shutting the things down. So there's it's when you go to one of these conferences, it's lots of coffee flowing or Jim and George both, who George Montemayor, who is our director of sales, and was with us in the booth in between the two expo sessions. They went to the room and took a nap.
Yeah.
And both of them just said we conked out and had to, when George showed back up, he was still just, he was like, I'm still trying to wake up. I went to go in between two women in automotive, and they put on a thing for women in automotive, and that can be vendors or dealers or whoever, to come and to socialize and and all of that. So, when you come to a one of those, it's always a good idea to find other groups that are supportive in what your challenges are, whatever. So that's I kind of liked that they had that, and it had been strongly pitched to me by our friend Corinne from Pasadena.
One other aside, if we've been asked to submit a speaking submission for Used Car Week, and we've never been to that. It's set for Vegas this fall, and I've welcomed some feedback. Some people have done that. I would love to hear
know if that's something that you
got to make a judgment about
there,
that.
whatever.
Yep.
I don't know how big of a presence Buy Here, Pay Here has, but speaker wise, we had a chance to attend a session where it was from the dealer forum in last fall, where it was the best ideas, and 3 dealers were on the panel, and you're going to have to fill me in on some of the names, but Meg Jones, who is someone that is on our team, was there, and all of these dealers, because they got the best idea, had I believe it was a suite or something that NIADA took care of for them. And so, just a little bit of like, thank you for participating. And it was a great panel. Meg talked about insurance verifications, and if you choose not to use a service to do it, if anyone out there is listening and they want to get information, she has a spreadsheet of all of the different major insurance providers and where you go to get notified, because once you set it all up, she says, they went from
she said 10 to 12 hours a month to about 2.
So just really, really decreased, because most of it was automated. And so Meg is someone who will try do it yourself first. And so we recognize that there are a lot of dealers out there that would prefer to just do that with a service, but she's like, I think we can do this, and I think we can do it much less expensively. And so there's a little bit of work on the front end, but what a great way to be able to cut back time of paying people for doing insurance verifications. And one of the other things that she said is that she gets the insurance verification back, like it's almost really fast. It's in real time, where sometimes the services, it takes just a little bit more time. And our friend Karen Barnett, good morning.
And
we spent
our first White Hat Way ambassador.
Yep, and certified as well. So
that's correct.
Absolutely. So, and then the other 2.
Yeah, the other Blake Ingram out of the Dallas area spoke about a transmission solution that they created.
Flushing
really
the
popular.
Transmissions. Yep.
Yeah, and it's more than that. I mean, people need to be there to hear what you had to say, because they had a very specific process that they used, and it was working quite well for them. And then the third panelist was Matt Nybarger, a guy that I knew back when he was with Primalin. Now he owns a dealership in Tennessee, and so that was that he was talking about. What was his best idea? I can't remember. Oh, using text. They figured out how to use text out of the program at the Votech.
I love that idea, where he goes into the Votech schools and has started to build relationships. And he lives in an area where most of the techs end up going straight into Toyota or things like that, and learning that way. And he's been able to develop a relationship with the instructors who actually they really do a lot of guiding where their graduates go. And so one of the things he does is he donates a car that has very specific type of problems, so they can work and learn from that. And the other thing that he learned, which I was like, I really appreciate this, is because he gets interns from the tech school, and they do pay them. But the interns, one of the things that he learned from doing that is they don't want to just be putting on GPS, because usually what you do is when you have a tech and you've got an intern, it's like they're getting the stuff that is the easiest or the lowest stuff, or whatever. And he's like, we learned they wanted challenges. They were there to learn. And so that's been a thing that's helped them as well, to be able to continue to draw from from the VOTEC schools.
Right.
So great, there are VOTEC schools in all the different, I know we've got one just down the street from us, and really great idea on that front. And then with the transmission, he was talking about doing a flush that if there's a shimmy, he's like, once you do this, you're usually
it solves some, not all. I mean, I think this is people need to hear from Blake on that part. But it's like it was a really great session. I think I think the overall point is that we urge dealers to attend. I didn't know until I sat in Rhonda's and then my own session on Wednesday morning. It was really well attended. There were a fair number of buy here, pay here dealers. I asked in the room how many were in retail considering buy here, pay here. And there's just one or two dealers in the room that were in that situation. So you had people who were active buy here, pay here. My presentation was on success tools, like a simple DIY success tool, one to calculate profit, the other to calculate cash flow.
We'll be doing that on the podcast the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, so, one of the things too I got to find out, and I'll just say it here, is that we've got to reach out to Richard Green and NIADA to find out, what they feel about us sharing the
actual recording,
the recording, because we did record it. We verified the audio came out clean enough to be able to share. So we'll make sure that that's okay to share, because some were asking. I think it's probably fine to share it with the people who were in attendance and paid to be there, but we want to get NIADA's okay to share that broadcast.
We'll do that. I know in the past we've broadcast live when Jim has presented. So I really can't foresee that there's going to be a lot of a problem with that. But we did not broadcast while we were there, and had a lot of people, aren't you guys broadcasting? Aren't you guys going to be doing that? And they didn't do a podcasting stage and all of that this year.
They didn't. So it's fine. I mean, we had plenty of stuff to do with our own booth. Obviously, we were stretched as it was.
Yeah.
But
so what did Rhonda talk about?
Alyssa Schultz, look, she's saying good morning from
good
Pennsylvania
morning,
this morning, I'm sure. So
such a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, it was really wonderful to have you in the room for the certification thing, and really enjoying working with you and the whole team over at DCS.
Absolutely.
So that's Dealer Controlled Solutions and software providers. And let's see, who else am I forgetting, Michelle? So I got to share this photo. I shared it on Facebook, and I got to share this photo of, and I'll try to recount the story, because Michelle's going to be modest and a little embarrassed. Ice cream.
I mean, they served gelato and ice cream for dessert one of the days, and so I was busy getting things to feed myself.
Yeah. So this gentleman walks up with this really fantastic Southern accent. Come to find out, he's out of Central Alabama, and he says, "Where's Michelle?" And she's gone to get ice cream. She should be right back.
Well, and when I started approach, it's like everyone turned and looked at me. And
here's the celebrity now.
Like, okay.
So he had told his team back in Alabama, he said, "I'm going to the conference, and Jim and Michelle are going to be. I'm going to get a photo with Michelle." And so I gladly stepped aside. Michelle was the celebrity, and so it just was a funny moment.
It was great, and great family. His wife and daughter were there as well, and just really, really good, solid people. I'm so grateful for conferences, because you get to meet face to face just some amazing quality dealers. And just kind, and these are the kind of dealers that's one of the reasons why we have created White Hat Way as a certification. All that is to give them visibility into who they are more, as operators. And so I just, was really, really grateful. And I ran into the family a couple of different times. And so Dale, thank you, for making my day.
Incredible family.
Really, really. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been, but it's always, it's so good to be at these conferences, because you have people approach and they know us from the podcast. And I always tell people, we sit in here and do this thing, and we don't see the faces and names of anybody who's watching. And so sometimes it feels like nobody's watching. We're just here doing our thing anyway. But you can tell when you go to these conferences, a lot of people tuning in, and we're grateful. We appreciate you making time to hear.
You didn't get into what Rhonda's talked about, Rhonda's Cavender.
On his his session?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So Rhonda's was really about how to reduce charge-offs and some of the steps that they had taken, very specific steps. And I was really thrilled to hear him dig into sort of the culture side of what they have done. So I'd rather have him come back and talk about the particulars, because he gave a really great presentation. He and he wrapped with some really strong points about, exactly what they did. And I think this is something I just think a lot of people said that event, that particular session was worth the price of admission. We had really great feedback on my session. I had a lot of people that, were talking about that. I got great feedback in the room, got a chance to.
Again, we'll do that on morning show in the next little bit.
With permission.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if we just represent some of it.
I got you.
Yeah.
So that was really excellent. And then I don't have it. I've got a photo here. I don't have the little video, but do we want to play the video from our team, the little short video?
Yeah. Let me add that to the stage.
Las Vegas, as you can tell, we're in the expo hall. They're in takedown mode. We're going to take our booth down momentarily, but it's a Thursday morning. The conference is wrapping up. There's still a few sessions, of course, educational wise, but we're wrapping up our part. Just want to take a minute with our team to kind of pass along any updates and recap of the week. Michelle, you got anything you want to?
I'll close it out if that's okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah. George, what's been your impression of the week?
Oh, what a fantastic week. What a great place to network. If you're a dealer, you should have been here. Next year, you got to be in Colorado to network with your fellow peers in the dealer world, and stop by our booth at White Hat Way to learn about what we do and how we can help you grow your buy here, pay here business.
George, can't stop being a salesperson.
I love it.
It's been a great week. I think we've learned a lot. So many things I probably can't even mention them all right now, but just knowing that your peers are going through some of the same things that you are at your dealership, and knowing that you have that support, which is also so crucial. Being a part of a group like our White Hat Way, knowing what these dealers are going through, knowing what your numbers are that Jim can, run and help us analyze and things like that. And just knowing that all these dealers are here to help each other, and it's not that competition that you really think about.
Yeah, I had a great week. Really enjoyed being here. Kind of to follow up on what Meg said, I enjoy hearing from other dealers as well as some of the industry experts, about things that they're seeing and where they feel like we're going as an industry, and some things that maybe we can implement. Really enjoyed a session with some guy named Jim Rhoads. He did a good job. I really enjoyed that session. So yeah, I really enjoy being at these conferences. I'm looking forward to the one in November, the Buy Here, Pay Here Dealer Forum. I think you guys are going to be there again. And so I would definitely encourage anybody that sees this to come by and talk to you guys about White Hat Way and what we're doing with that, and the benefits that they could draw from that. The networking is great. Hearing from the experts is great, but being tied into that close group, I felt like I got as much out of the dealer roundtables as I did anything. And I feel like that's kind of what we do with some of the V8 and the White Hat Way, is we're a close-knit group that we can really just bounce ideas openly and confidentially. And so I feel like that's something that we can get year-round when we're not at a conference. So, but the conference overall, really enjoyed. Glad we were here.
So I might explain just quickly before we continue that Georgia Montemayor, we said, is our sales director. Meg Jones is director of marketing. She has Elite Marketing Group, and she's prepared to do moderating for us in V8. And then she and her husband, that's her husband Ryan on the left, and Ryan is, and so she and the two of them are White Hat certified. They attended our session
and dealers out of Alabama
in February. Yeah. And so when you hear him, I love to hear him say what we are doing with White Hat Way, because he's very much a part of all kind of the brainstorming and the focus group aspect that is, the development of all those threads now.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to kind of explain who Ryan is.
Yeah.
Good point.
We're always a real advocate for dealers attending.
I'm also going to stop and say, folks, don't leave your screen. You're going to see a scene stealer here in just a second.
Attending a conference. So much beyond just going through the expo hall, which you can see is being taken apart behind us. I know when I ran into Meg and Ryan after the first day, they were like, oh my gosh, there is so much to see. And, you know, a lot of dealers, if you haven't had a chance to go to a conference, it's a great opportunity for you to see what's new in the industry, you know, what different tools are out there, also get some updates on the things that you are currently, the services that you're currently using. But the big thing is that being able to have those conversations with dealers like yourself. And, you know, we work really hard to create an environment where dealers can get together virtually. And we know that not everybody has the ability to be able to get away from their dealerships for a few days at a time. We do really encourage you, you know, try to find at least one that you know you're going to get a lot of, and we suggest the NIADA conference. But just get that opportunity to get together with other dealers and to, you know, really connect and share phone numbers and share experiences, and so much that can be learned around a lunch table.
Yeah. Expo Hall was full. A lot of great vendors here. Our founding sponsors were here. We got to spend some time with them. I would say, you know, AI, artificial intelligence, was a big theme of the event. I think what you can see is it's a changing world, and those folks who don't stay up with the technology are going to get left behind, it seems. So we gotta stay on top of the technology, and that's part of what I saw here. In keeping with that, you know, we did our white hat certification, and it ended up being a room of vendors. We did 2 half days. Shout out again to NIADA for accommodating us on the space.
Absolutely.
And so we were able to get that done earlier in the week, and that was really a wonderful opportunity for us to showcase some of our own technology that's sort of in development, and then also just collaboration was a big theme for us. When we come to these things, it's an opportunity to reconnect with vendors that we know, you know, their current partners, future partners, and it's a big part of what White Hat Way looks to do.
See dealers that we've seen virtually for quite a while, and you get to see them face to face, and
that's always fun to meet the people that you know through social media. And of course, Michelle's celebrity status was elevated this week, so we had a lot of fun meeting people who follow the podcast.
It was fun.
How many autographs did you do?
You know, I don't know. Pictures. Yes. Not a lot of.
It was fun, but it is obviously to be able to shake hands with dealers and obviously industry partners. It was a tremendous week. We just wanted to take a moment to you know, say hello to everybody and make sure you knew it was a wonderful week. For those who didn't make it, we wish you'd been here. For those who were here, glad to spend a little time with you, and so many people that you see that you want to spend time with, and it always happens that, you know, you're headed home and never got to spend time with so-and-so. It just seems to be the nature of these things. But it was a great week.
Yeah, keep it on your calendar. I'm not exactly sure right now of the dates, but the next one will be NIADA conference will be in the Denver area. Right. It'll be pretty friendly, family friendly. That's where water park is and all of that. And if you can make it, come. It's just a great opportunity to connect with vendors and dealers.
Yeah, and before that, we have the Super for they now call it the BHPH Dealer Forum. That'll be in November in Nashville, I think. And so we want people to watch for those dates and be a part of that with us. We'll certainly be there and be part of that. Yeah, please.
So Meg and I actually went to the Buy Here, Pay Here Dealer Forum last November. That was really our first NIADA event that we had attended. And I know a lot of our people are Buy Here, Pay Here, not all, but, you know, we deal with a lot of Buy Here, Pay Here people just in the organizations that you guys have. And so I highly recommend that. This was a great event. I loved it. We would come again. We will come again. But for our Buy Here, Pay Here guys and gals, I highly recommend the Dealer Forum. It's really focused on us. All the roundtables are things you're experiencing. The education is things that you're experiencing in your dealerships. And I know that White Hat Way is going to be there again. And so we encourage people to come to that, stop by the booth. But like I said, this is not a plug for anybody except for your growth and your dealership doing better. So I highly recommend it. This was a great conference, nothing against it, but our Buy Here, Pay Here people should really put on their calendars November 9th to the 11th.
9th to the 11th. Thank you. Any closing thoughts? All right. Well,
we'll wrap up there. I think it was a good opportunity to spend a little time and shake hands with folks. And I would just close by saying one thing, the ways we're talking about White Hat Way now is White Hat Way is really working to help consumers and buyers know who they can trust. And we're also in the same breath sort of making sure that those sellers or vendors are able to show that they're trustworthy, right? And so this is part of what we do, and we look forward to working with folks to do more and more of that. So again, from Las Vegas, we'll wrap up. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So,
oh goodness.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just to say, especially since Alyssa was listening a little bit earlier, DCS it looks like we're going to be doing some things with them.
They're very supportive and collaborative.
Very supportive. So, and have a DMS platform that is all cloud based and is for lease here, pay here, and buy here, pay here.
Right.
So, if you're looking for something like that, that's always the cloud base is a big thing. Too.
Basically, they just indicated a willingness to lean in and support kind of our mission, and we're happy to bring them into the conversation.
Really happy about that.
And get more dealers to become aware of what they do. So I think we can save more for next week. There's going to be some carryover. We've got other topics, and we'll find out about what we can share from our presentation and bring some of that back next week, because again, that was quite rich. And so we should probably just wrap up there and return, unless I left something out.
I don't think you left anything out.
Oh, maybe one quick thing. Let me show the photo of our guy who won the drawing.
Oh,
so we did a drawing for White Hat Way.
Little,
our founding sponsors chipped in a little money, and we all put a few bucks in and did a drawing for some cash. So here's our guy who was awarded the cash. So thank the folks who made the time.
I was like, you need to go gamble, and he's like, nope.
Yeah.
Really nice. So it was a fun experience, a very fun experience.
For sure.
And George, you're welcome for the recap, and we missed you.
Yeah.
But I know that Florida is that's your
his home, that's his territory.
That's your territory.
That's where he develops his business. Yeah. So
all righty.
And nothing else. Yeah, let's wrap up. We'll see folks back here on Wednesday with plenty more carryover from.
We did miss this last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Kind of completely. So sorry to all of our listeners out there that are just. We have some listeners that is like, hey, when you gonna? Before we had someone come in and help us drop all of the podcasts into the syndicated stations, we would have people reaching out to us. It's like, you haven't done it for a couple of days. When are you guys going to drop the new content? So thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. All right, everybody.
And
we
for
know
the
you're
folks
busy.
Whose names we missed.
Yeah.
We'll catch you. We'll mention you next week.
Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you on Wednesday. And again, it was so great to see all of those that we had a chance to see.
Sure.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
Talk to you
Enjoy
later.
your weekend.
Bye.